this chair. Hi, everybody. How you doing? Welcome to the program. It's your buddy Uncle Bruce here, who's frantically trying to figure out why doesn't his chair... Oh, yeah, forgot the button is here. I'm going down or I'm going up. I'm going up. Hi. Good morning, everyone, to the program. As I frantically adjust my chair for the show, it's December the 10th. This is Wednesday, December the 10th, and we had our friends at GameStop release their financials last night, and we're now looking to see what the shares are going to do this morning. We've noticed last night, you probably noticed what the shares did once the results were made. You saw the shares dip last night to the 21, probably 50 level, 40 level. There were a couple of prints that cheap, maybe even cheaper. And let's mute that. And now we've now seen the shares rebound a bit in the last 20 minutes. We're now back to 22.12 or something like that, 22.15. We're down about 90 cents, 95 cents, a dollar versus $1.50. There were headlines everywhere about the demise of GameStop. It's all over. Cry into your beer because the company's going out of business. It's just terrible. What's the word I'm looking for when it comes to those kinds of headlines? Let me think a minute. PG rated, oh yeah, I remember. If you ever remember the show MASH with Colonel Potter, horse cocky is what he used to call that kind of stuff. Horse cocky. Look at these headlines that came out last night. Let me pop this up for you while I attempt to hopefully this is going to work. Sorry folks, I'm having technical issues. It's not me again, it's my computer today. Very, very slow. It's kind of like the Chinese are interfering with my streaming or others. I don't know. When you speak the truth, sometimes you make people angry. I don't know what it is. I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy. I'm trying to get these headlines to pop up here on my screen. Can't do it. It's incredible. Can't pop up headlines. Okay, here we go. This is Wall Street Journal. GameStop shares fall as collectibles remain only bright spot. Talk about a misleading headline of headlines. Unbelievable. GameStop shares falls as collectibles remain the only spot. Here's another one. I hope I can get this one to pop up. It's taking 30 seconds for my instructions to be followed here. GameStop's Bitcoin holdings and sales slide. GameStop's Bitcoin holdings and sales slide. There is no drop in Bitcoin holdings. The sales slide is not accurate because we're dealing with way fewer stores. The Canadian stores are out. There's 150 stores in Canada, whatever the number was, that are not included in the third quarter anymore because they sold the Canadian division off. If you divide the sales by the actual number of stores, their sales are up. But oh no, it's game over. Here's another one. Let's see if I can get this one to pop up. It's just ridiculous. GameStop faces revenue decline amid digital shift. This headline is from 2021. It's from 2021. That's where this headline comes from. You remember Blockbuster? It's going to go out of business. The company won't make it. Blah blah blah. Jesus, just unbelievable. There are a couple of headlines that are not so misleading. Fair enough. Let's see if I can get those popping up here. GameStop reports third quarter 2025 profit surge amid cost cuts. And then GameStop stock slides on third quarter earnings. Earnings per share beat, revenue miss despite collectibles growth. Again, revenue miss is not accurate. It is a almost a lie, but you want to look at hard numbers. I understand. I totally understand. Let me see if I can pop this up. Oh my gosh! It's laughable, but it's not, because innocent investors have been affected by this, who have been scared into selling stock, and this is not right. Look, This is the 3-month period here for November 1st, 2025 versus November 2nd, 2024. So it's 1 year to the next year, third quarter only numbers, right? Just 3 months. All right. At the very top of this number, you'll see the net sales of 821 million versus 860. That is what the revenue miss is all about. They're saying, oh, the company is selling $40 million less of stuff. Oh, they're falling and their plan isn't working and it's all over. Well, they got rid of Germany. They got rid of Switzerland. They got rid of Italy. They offloaded Canada. They've offloaded another, I don't know how many hundred more stores in the US. Look at the second line on this little ditty here. Do you see the cost of sales? Take a look at the cost of sales, 547 versus 603 million. Now, you take one away from the other, and what do you come up with? About a roughly $56 million less in costs for their sales. 56 million versus a drop of 40 million in actual sales. Do you understand what this means? This is so important. It's costing them less to bring in more money. They're bringing in 40 million less, but they spent 56 million less to get it. That's a win. Look at the next line, and that is the kicker right there. Selling and administrative expenses. Forget the gross profit. The gross profit we'll get to in a minute. Look at the selling and administrative expenses. 221 versus 282. This is head office. These are all the costs of all the staff to run this organization around every store, every region, head office, everything. It's 221 million versus 282 million. Their costs were, from last year to this year, in 3 months, 61 million less. These guys are making nothing but money now at the store level. Let's go a little lower. Operating income versus loss. $41 million operating income versus a $33 million operating loss. That's a $74 million swing positive. Then you add the interest income, even though it's in brackets, 49 million versus 54 million. That number is about to go higher as the billions that have come into the company kick in here this quarter. Then go to the bottom, income before income taxes, 84 million versus 20 million after income tax. You only pay income tax if you make money. Hello, is anyone out there? You only pay income tax if you make money. They paid 7 million to the United States government, 77 million net profit versus 17 million. No one is talking about this. Let's go for another little thing if I can. Let me see if I can pop this up over here. Hang on. I've clicked the button. I'm waiting for it to kick in. Okay, here we go. This is for the 9 months. So this is the year so far. We're in the fourth quarter now. These are the first 3 quarters combined, okay? Look at the gross sales. 2.525 billion versus 2.54 billion. The 15 million less with at least 600 fewer stores. 1.7 billion in costs versus 1.78 billion in costs. In other words, to buy the inventory is way cheaper than to bring the money in. That's a positive. The interest income is 185.5 versus 108. The bottom line here is they made $290 million in profit. Last year at this time, they were losing money. Now, last year at this time, I was telling you guys that it is likely they're going to start to make money because they're going to be bringing in interest income of significant amounts, which will allow the company to make money even if the stores don't. But I also said a year ago, with the shutting down of all of these stores that are unprofitable and getting out of all of these different jurisdictions that they used to be in, they're going to be a leaner, meaner operation. And the fact that they're moving into collectibles, they're moving into the collectible business, getting out of still selling game systems and games, but they're now doing the collectible thing. That's where the margins are. And that is where the business is surging. It's now 31% of all sales are collectibles versus 20% a year ago. That's 50% more. That's going to continue to grow. The half of this company's sales in the next year or two will be collectibles with way higher margins. This company's cost of inventory will continue to drop as sales hold or go higher, which means the net income is going to grow. The head office costs are going to continue to shrink. They've shrunk by 20 million a month in the third quarter. That is going to continue. They're going to get those costs down to probably, oh gosh, I can see their costs dropping another 30-40% overall. Their net margins are going to be massive. And yeah, okay, they'd had a $290 million profit in 9 months. This is the fourth quarter. This is the big quarter right now. This is November, December, January. These are the 3 months where they make all their money. 500 million in profit this year could be posted. No one is talking about this. It's all doom and gloom, kids. It's all over. It's just terrible losses. I have another little thing for you here. I've got a couple of other things that I do here. Net income per share. Okay, right here, 17 cents is this current quarter versus last year 4 cents, and this year for 9 months 65 cents versus nothing last year. 65 cents a share net earnings. And then look at this number here. I think this is the Bitcoin number. Pardon me. If you can't read it, I'll just try to read it for you. Okay, they own 4,710 Bitcoins that cost them 500 million. They're worth 519 million, and they're up 19.4 million. But remember something about Bitcoin now. Every public company has to disclose to its shareholders the value of Bitcoin or any other crypto that they have in their account, even though they don't have to pay tax on this gain. And even though this gain isn't really income, it's just carried value, it's true value. So if Bitcoin goes up or down during the quarter, GameStop and everyone else will say to the world, oh yeah, our Bitcoin cost us this much, it's worth that much. What the street is doing, the guys over at, the guys at Wall Street Journal, the guys in New York Times, the guys at any of the other publications out there, you've seen all the headlines. Guru and Tips and Tip Ranks and all of these experts who are talking about what GameStop is doing, they're all talking about, oh, they're losing on their Bitcoin. Why? Because 3 months earlier, Bitcoin was worth 520 something million. Now it's worth 519 million. It's the end of the world. Of course, if you look at Bitcoin this minute, it's sitting at about what? Something like, hang on, I'll tell you right now if I can. $92,000. So they're up on Bitcoin still. It fluctuates. What, of course. But it's over. Unbelievable. The misleading of facts is prevalent everywhere. It is insidious. It is infectious. It is disturbing, and it is telling. There are people out there who are going after this company like you cannot believe, to tell the world it's garbage, and it nothing can be further from the truth. Mr. Cohen is doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing. He is shutting down underperforming stores. He is shutting down underperforming countries. If he can sell a country, he will. If he can just walk away from it, he will. He sold off Canada to a Quebec operation. I think he sold off some other countries and walked away from others. And then in the U.S., every month, stores' leases come up, because these are 5 and 10 year leases that they signed over the years. And they decide, with 6 months to go, a year to go, they're already looking at every lease that expires in the next year. They've already figured out whether they're going to keep the store or drop the store. And they just shift the assets inside the stores to other stores. So if they've got 100 grand worth of inventory in store number 4 in Dallas, and they're going to shut that store and only have 3 stores in Dallas, or from 8 to 7, or from 9 to 8, whatever the number is, doesn't matter. They're just going to shift the inventory to the other 8 stores. They're just going to divvy it up. Okay, you get this many, you get this many. It's no loss. There's no loss in inventory. It's just reassigned to other locations in the region. And they sell from there. And they shut down the store that they don't want anymore, which stops the payments, which stops the business taxes, the common area fees, the lease costs, the business license for that location, the power bill stops. The staff is laid off or reassigned to other stores. Most are part-timers. They don't have shipping costs anymore. They don't have insurance costs anymore, security costs anymore. These costs per store drop dramatically, which is selling and administrative expenses drop. They have the other 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stores in the region still operating, and the diehard clients go, oh, I don't go to this mall, I go to that mall. Oh, okay, I'll just go to that mall and I'll get my GameStop stuff there. Big whoop! It's smart business, such smart business. The other thing you have to understand is this: if you've ever been involved in a retail store, like at the ground floor level, to open a store in a shopping mall, do you have any idea how many hundreds of pages of legal documents you have to sign with your landlord? You have no clue. How many hours you need lawyers to work on your behalf with your city, your county, your state to file business plans, business licenses, state taxes, federal taxes. It never, ever ends. The amount of legal expenses that GameStop is saving now versus what they used to pay 3 years ago when they had over 5,500 stores versus now they're at 3,200, 3,300. Millions a month. Millions. And this is going to continue to filter to the bottom line of the corporation. That selling and administrative cost you see will continue to dramatically fall off. It dropped 20 million a month in the third quarter. Okay? It was 20 million less in the first month of the third quarter, 20 million less the next month of the third quarter, and 20 million less the next month of the third quarter. Do you think that the selling is going to continue, the costs are going to continue to drop in the fourth quarter? Yes, they're going to continue to drop in the fourth quarter. That's what I'm talking about. This is profits to the company, money they don't have to spend anymore to be in business. These so-called pundits and experts and whoever these morons are read the top line and are looking for sensational headline. They're looking for an 8-second attention span reader and are not interested in talking about how the company is actually doing. Now, I'm going to criticize GameStop, and I've done this before, and you know what I'm going to do now. They don't talk. No one at the corporation is explaining these numbers to the world. No one. And that is the fault of Ryan Cohen at the top. I blame him right off the top. If you're not going to have a spokesperson, spokesman, spokeswoman, spokesperson, act as your mouthpiece to explain the details of what is going on, then what do you expect the market to do? You've issued warrants to shareholders asking them to consider buying stock from the Treasury at $32 a share by October of 2026. And you're not giving any of them any information on how these numbers are fantastic for the corporation. You're allowing shysters to write garbage about your corporation, and you're not defending yourself. What do you want? It just never ceases to amaze me how incompetent senior management of public companies can be when the simple solution is to put together a team of communicators, hire PR corporations, so hire one outfit to act as your mouthpiece to tell the world what is really happening with the company. You only have to break your numbers down to a per store basis to confirm to the market our numbers are higher per store. Our profits are higher per store. When you take it all into account, the gross sales, the net profits, operating profits, the net profits, you break it down to a per location basis, they're making more money per location. But no one does this. No, they're not doing it. I'm doing it, and I don't charge them anything. And maybe that's the thinking. They're going, well, we'll let Bruce do it. We'll let Uncle Bruce tell the world how great GameStop is doing. We don't have to pay anyone to do that. He does it for nothing. He barely gets any money off of YouTube. So the guy's working for free. What the hell? Screw this guy. I don't know. I'm just a guy sitting on 10 cash secured puts. And I'm not hiding this fact. Jen and I have written 10 cash secured puts on GameStop. These are $25 puts that expire in January. They're 25s, and the stock's at $21.91, $22. So the puts have a book value of $3. We sold them at $5.50 back in the summertime. We're still ahead $2.50 a share. That's all they're worth. They're worth $3 a share. We're up $2.50. But between now and the third week of January, with Christmas underway, could the shares be 24, 25 by then? Yeah. Could they be 23, 24 again? Yeah. I think the puts will be worth less than they're worth now. But, you know, I'm just a guy going, hey, man, you're making money hand over fist, and you're not telling the world how you're doing it. And you're going to be making a lot more money. These guys could be giving the street projections, estimates as to what they expect the market to be generating 6 months from now, a year from now, and they're not doing it. They're letting speculators speculate on their behalf. Wrong. You're a $10 billion market cap company. What are you doing running a nickel and dime thing like this? So ridiculous. Now, there were articles written in the last week all about GameStop. There always are. And there was one that caught my eye that just made me shake my head. Who in the world allows these articles to be written without being fact-checked? Because this truly, no facts were used. There was an analyst out there who claims, and it's not I don't think he's with a brokerage firm. This is an independent person who's just trying to get eyeballs, was saying that the company had $6 billion in cash. Where are you getting this from? Even in the quarter back in August showed a higher cash balance than that. It's a fact that they have 8.7 billion cash and 500 million in Bitcoin. They got over 9 billion in cash assets. They're hauling in, as you see, nice interest income. Yet this article was allowed to go out there to mislead and lie to the readers about how they're doing and where they're at. This article even indicated that there's a chance the company could go under if they run out of money. How does GameStop go out of business if they make $290 million so far this year in 9 months? That means they have more money in their bank account than they had last year, not less. How do they go out of business? How do these people, whoever these people are, have any street credibility whatsoever? Do they have thousands of readers that pay them a monthly fee as a subscription to read this bullshit? What is going on out there? There was a time when I was a younger guy where these kinds of comments would have resulted in litigation from the public company directly. GameStop would have hired lawyers to go after these guys, cease and desist with threats of legal action, and they would have collected millions and millions in compensation, which they could have turned around and given out as a special dividend to the shareholders as a little gift to you. They could come up with a report, say, okay, the year's over, and in this past year, we spent $50 million on legal fees, and we collected $200 million in liabilities, and we're giving you $150 million as a gift because you, the shareholders, were the ones affected by this crap. Or we're buying $150 million of our stock back from money that we got from legal settlements from those who lie. This is wide open. This is litigious United States. They're not doing anything. They're letting it happen. GameStop is letting the bullshit come at them, and they're not defending themselves. And do you think that someone at CNBC, some host on CNBC, is going to stand up and say, this GameStop thing, this is ridiculous. These headlines coming out are completely wrong. Bloomberg? No. Wall Street Journal? No. There's only one brokerage firm covering this stock, not 20. So we've talked about this before. GameStop could easily be covered by 20 analysts within a month. All they have to do is buy 10% or more of a publicly traded company that they want to get into. Because if they became a dominant shareholder of a smaller corporation that is already publicly traded, that has 25 analysts, I can guarantee you that a whole bunch of those analysts will now cover GameStop because they own a big chunk of this public company. And that is where I come to now. What do I think is going to happen is probably what you're asking yourself. Uncle Bruce, what do you think is going to happen? Here's what I would like to see happen. I would love to see GameStop utilize some of that $8.7 billion. Use up maybe, $750 million, 5 times over. So just short of $4 billion, and buy into 5 separate public companies between 5 and 10% each. That's what I'd like to see them do. Become a holding company, which is what they're truly going to become. Consider selling GameStop sometime this year as a going concern that makes money. Grab themselves $5 billion for that, because it'll be worth $5 billion. And add that to your cash haul. Sit on $15 billion cash or so, and put $4 billion to work into 5 different companies, and then negotiate deals to put another $4 billion into another 5 companies, or the same 5 companies, under a convertible debenture deal where they can put money in today and convert it into stock later and take companies to a much higher level. Each of these public companies has 10, 20, 30 analysts covering them. And all of a sudden, you now have 100 different analysts who are going to be looking at GameStop going, oh, I gotta take a look at GameStop Holdings, because they're going to have to change their name from GameStop to something. Maybe they'll call it GS Holdings, GS Investment Corp, and now they're going to follow GS Investment Corp. And so you, shareholders of GS Investment Corp, because it's a 1-for-1 rollover, it's just a name change for you, you're going to have a very actively managed corporation. And I'd like to see them hire a PR firm that hypes the glory of GS Investments. That's what I'd like to see happening. If I were Ryan Cohen, that's what I would be working on. I would already have CEO in place and CFOs to handle GameStop and keep doing what you're doing. Reduce the losers, get rid of countries you don't want to be in anymore, and improve the net margins of this company. If it's required, if you think you can do it, literally acquire PSA, the so-called grading company, the collectible company you're involved with. The guy's on your board of directors. Make him the CEO of GameStop. Take over his company, put it in there, and then take that company public as a spinoff. Do a public spinoff of that company and have GS Investments over here, have GameStop over there, 2 separate halves, and move on. But that's what I'd like to see. But I'm just a guy, in front of a computer, just saying, GameStop, I've come up with ideas for you guys now for 5 years. 4 years. And, whatever you do, you do. They've done some really good things in the last 5 years, 4 years. Really, really good things. Eliminated all management from 2020, 21. They're all gone, been replaced. Reduced costs of management per person dramatically. Gotten rid of the corporate jet. They had a Challenger jet, they had a corporate jet. Got rid of that and all of its expenses. They opened and closed distribution centers. They did all that. They've shut down 2,500 stores, maybe 3,000 stores have been closed, sold, eliminated, erased from existence. Beautiful. That is exactly what they're supposed to be doing. And they've shifted their business away from this gaming or games and hardware sales only, hardware and software they call it, to now collectibles. And they're doing it also online. These are all really good moves, really solid corporate moves. Congratulations to Ryan Cohen. Congratulations to his team. Congratulations to the board of directors of GameStop. You did that right. What you did wrong and what you're still doing wrong, in my humble opinion, this is all my opinion, okay? You're not telling the world what you're doing. You're not explaining to the world the details. You're unwilling to share even the good news, even your wins, you're not sharing. You're letting the shareholders figure it out for themselves. That, I think, is wrong. In this world, with the 8-second attention span of people out there, not the way to go. But this is just this old man looking around going, I've been in this business since 1979. And I was a broker in the 80s, a branch manager, a VP. I had my own public company, and I knew how important it was then in the late 80s and 90s how to do PR as a public company. I've done it all, kids. I've been everywhere, and I've been a YouTuber since 2017 on Traveling with Bruce, now since 2020 on this channel. And I've seen it all, kids. You've seen a lot with me now in the last 5 years. I'm just a guy going, hey, it's 21:55 right now. 21:55. It was 22:10 when I came on the air. It's 21:55 right now. Shorters are having a field day with this stock. They should be getting caught with their pants down. This stock should be 26, 28 right now. That's what it should be right now. But no one's paying attention. Something else I want to reiterate, a little thing to bring back to your memory banks. This company raised over $4 billion in the last 12 months. And they did 2 separate tranches of $2 billion and another $2 billion, give or take, each time by issuing convertible debentures of the company. In other words, if you look at their financials through the SEC filings, you'll find that they have what's called long-term debt. They have about $4.3 billion or something like that. You'll find the number exactly. It's over $4 billion of long-term debt. That is, and that represents the $4+ billion they brought in by issuing debentures, bonds, to, in effect, institutional investors, in my humble opinion, domestic and foreign, at 0% interest, 0% interest, convertible into common stock between $28.50 and about $29.50 a share, roughly. That is good until 2030. This is December 2025. These folks, GameStop, have 5 years of zero interest money, zero cost money in their hands, plus the cash they've had already, which is now approaching $9+ billion. And they're buying treasury notes with it. They're buying treasury bills. They bought some Bitcoin, 500 million, And they're buying treasury notes that expire in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. A little bond portfolio. Very conservative, very smart. My humble opinion, they're hauling in 1% every 3 months on the money, 4% annualized. And I've been estimating $1 million a day in interest has been coming into the company. And for the $4+ billion that they put together on this debenture, it's costing them nothing, zero interest. Okay. Now, the company has until 2030 to get the stock 30% higher than $29 a share in order to convert all the debentures into stock on a mandatory basis. Okay, so the company can force conversion into stock of the company at $28, $29 a share if they trade at about $36, $38 a share between now and 2030. All right, so they have 5 years of earnings to deliver, 5 years of results, 5 years of interest income to force the conversion. Now, the holders of the debenture, they can convert anytime they want. I believe they starting next year, they can start to convert. They can just notify the company, we want to convert our debentures into stock. Now, would they do that with the stock at $21.55 a share right now? No, because then they'd have to book a loss. They'd have to book an actual loss. Right now, the holders of the debentures are sitting at par value. They get their dough back at the end of 5 years if the stock doesn't get high enough. And so they have no loss. They're not bringing any income in, but they're not losing on their holding. Okay? Just some background information for you guys that you're not going to find anywhere else as far as I know of. Again, this is all my opinion, my take on it, my viewing of it. It is brilliant, absolutely brilliant for Ryan Cohen to have done these moves to make GameStop one of the richest small cap companies in the world. Okay, they're not like, oh, they're the 1,000th smartest company out there. No, they're the number one. They're probably the number one company on the planet, publicly traded, with as much cash in hand per share versus the market price. At $21.55 a share, the company's market cap is around $10 billion. $9 billion of that is money, cash, interest-bearing money. Some of that is Bitcoin as well. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant position to be in. The stock is a bargain. If you've got a retirement account and you've got 5 years, 10 years to grow your retirement account, you can just buy this stock at $21.55 a share, put it away, and in the next 5 years, it'll be 60 to 80 bucks. Why? Earnings per share and a PE multiple will put it there. That's the bottom line. Fundamentals. If they do nothing, they just do what they're doing and keep doing what they're doing, they're going to grow their earnings per store, per corporation. They're going to have 500 million profit this year. They're going to have 700 million the year after. They're going to have $1 billion a year the year after that. They're going to earn 1.2 billion the year after that. And the earnings per share are going to rise and rise and rise. And at a 20, 30, 40, 50 time multiple, whatever that will be, the stock will be 40, 50, 60, 70, $80 a share. This is my opinion. This is not a fact. You can't take this to the bank. This is my opinion. Take it or leave it. It's my opinion. Bottom line, they've made $290 million so far this year in 9 months. And this is a company that is failing, they say. They say it is failing. $1/3 billion. They're going to have, I think, 500 million profit for the year, because this fourth quarter coming up, the quarter we're in now is the money quarter. They're making a killing on these collectibles. The returns are phenomenal. they're probably going to represent 40 to 45% of the gross sales this quarter in that corporation. It's massive. The shift has been on. No one is talking about it in any real way. Again, I'm just a guy in front of a computer with a whiteboard behind him. Nothing fancy, no fancy PR stuff, no fancy fireworks. Just saying, kids, what can I tell you? You can just buy the stock and sit. You could buy deep in the money calls with a 90-10 rule that you follow. If you've taken my classes, you know what I'm talking about. Under the 90-10 rule, you can just buy long-dated calls and write calls against the calls and say, thank you, poor man covered call writing strategy, I'm getting rich. You could just buy the stock and write covered calls on the stock. And don't worry if you get exercised. Don't worry about it. Buy the stock at $21.55 today. Write $24 exercise, $25 strike price calls, good for 6 months. Take the dough. Say thanks. I dare you to take it away from me at 25. I dare you to do it. If you get $250 premium and $25, you're selling at $27.50. You just bought them at $21.55. Hello, is anybody home? Is anybody there? This is such easy money. $6 profit on a $21.55 investment. I'm selling my classes right now for $150 a class. How to do this? Buy class number 1 and 2, and you'll figure out how to write covered calls. This is so simple. $300. You're into 1 and 2, classes 1 and 2. You write 10 calls at $250 a call on a 1,000 share purchase. You just brought in $2,500. You gave me $300 to figure out how to do it, and you're going to do this for the rest of your life, probably 3 times a year, maybe more. $2,500 3 times a year, $7,500. You paid $300 to figure it out. Classes 1 and 2. You want to figure out how to really make money on GameStop? You want to learn how to write cash secured puts? You want to figure out how to do put credit spreads, call credit spreads, iron condor trades on options, where you only need a couple of $1,000 to put on positions, where you can use 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 or 40 or $50,000. You're going to need a few more lessons, but they're available. 19 of them are on sale. All of them are on sale. Black Friday until the end of this weekend, and that's it. This is Wednesday, the 10th of December. This offer expires Sunday night, and that means you've got until the 14th of December to get these classes on sale. And then they're back to $200 a piece. Buy 1, buy 3, buy 8, buy them all. You decide. You want to become self-employed? You want to quit your day job? You're sitting on $100,000 in your 401k. You've got $100,000 in your accounts that used to be worth $200,000. You can borrow against your house $300,000 equity line of credit, home line of credit to put to work. You can manage this kind of capital. You don't need a day job. You need 19 lessons under your belt so that you can go, you know what, Uncle Bruce, I'm going to take control of my life. I'm sick and tired of being kicked around at work. My days are numbered. The firm I'm working for is failing. The company is failing. They're already doing layoffs. It's only a matter of time before they lay me off. Why don't I lay them off and become self-employed and say, screw you, son of a bitches. I'm going to run my own life. I'm going to run my own affairs. Start with class number 1, class number 2. Buy them all for $150 each if you want. And it's a deal. 150 times 19 classes is a lot of money. You're saving $50 a class times 19 classes. It's $1,000 saving. Great. Or wait until January and just pay full price for them. I'll be very grateful if you did that. $3,800. But you can get it for $150 now. Watch a class every 2 or 3 days and just absorb it. You can rewatch them as many times as you want. They're in plain English. I use this whiteboard on how to write options. I write it down for you while I'm talking. You can rerun that thing as million times as you wish, as many times as you want, and you're going to become an option writer. You're going to become a cash secured put writer. You're going to become a credit spread writer. And you're going to go, my God, Uncle Bruce, why didn't I find you 5 years ago? Why didn't I get off my big, fat, lard ass I love using that expression. Why didn't I get off my big fat lard ass 2 years ago when you were doing these classes? Why am I waiting until 2025? For God's sake, what am I waiting for? Someone to rescue me? Someone to help me retire in richness? What? Are you waiting for a call from the White House to say, hey, we love you. You voted for us. We have a reward for you. No one's calling you. No one's going to call you. It's time for you to get off your fat lard ass and do it yourself. It's time. Forget the New Year resolution bullshit. Forget this, oh, in January, I'm going to change my life and I'm really going to take control of myself. Thank you, everybody, for buying these Rugman cups. No, it's time now to grab some classes here. Start to learn how to write stock options. Even if you put your toe in the water and you use $5,000 to write two $25 cash secured puts on GameStop for like 3 months each. There's a gamble. We're talking super conservative option trading here. I am not talking about pie in the sky, risk everything on a trade nonsense. I am talking about super conservative trades where you can sleep at night. Once you start doing these after a few months, you're going, oh my God, Bruce, I can't wait till tomorrow. I hate weekends. I love them because options shrink during the week, during a weekend, but I can't wait till Monday morning. Oh God, Bruce, I love this morning. You got to want to get up every morning and go, I can't wait to look at my money. And not go to work to do it. Oh my God, what a wonderful feeling. The other wonderful feeling is planning a little holiday with your better half or your family and deciding, where are we going this winter? Where are we going to spend winter? Where are we going to go next summer? Because when you do go on a vacation, wherever the vacation is, you're going to have internet. And if you've got internet, this thing is working. This little phone is going. You can trade off of this. You don't need fancy 12 screen setups and all this crap. You don't need to be a 22-year-old high-tech savvy kid with 16 screens and all this crap. You just need a phone, an iPad, your laptop, for crying out loud. Go to Singapore. Hang out for a week in Singapore. Go to Japan. Go to Australia. Go to Bali. Go to Malaysia. Go to Europe. Go anywhere. And you can monitor and trade your account from wherever you are. You are mobile, buddy. And you can take the classes from wherever you are. You're sitting in Saudi Arabia right now. You can watch my classes. You're in Dubai. You can watch my classes and trade options. You're in Belgium. You're in Holland, you're in France, you're in Spain, you're in Kentucky, you're in Miami, you're in California, you're in Bolivia, you're in Brazil, you're in Canada. Doesn't matter. Anywhere on the planet where you are, you can grab these classes, and anywhere on the planet you are, you can probably write contracts. Probably 95% of you, I'm sure, can write options. But you got to know what the hell you're doing. Anyway, you want to make money, you're going to spend some money to do it. Otherwise, you're gambling. And I can't help you if you're gambling. I can't help you. Because gambling is a not conservative strategy. I try to help you with a very conservative investing strategy. That's the bottom line. I think we're open. Are we not open? Are we trading now, kids? Are we up and running? Where are we at? What's going on? It's 7:50 my time. We got to be open. GameStop 2311 is where we, I guess, closed last night. Where are we at? Are we alive and well? What's happening? How you doing, everybody? Welcome to the program. As I swipe off my phone's apps, I got a million of them going at the same time. Does any wonder my phone is just sitting there going, Got too many apps going at the same time. We're up 39 on the Dow, I think. And GameStop is 2208, I think. Am I right? How you doing, everybody? Welcome to the party, pal. I'm just a guy trying to help you figure out how to make money. By the way, SoFi, 2674 down 8. Bargoon City on SoFi. Oh my gosh, what a wonderful time to consider writing cash secured puts at 25 to 30 on SoFi. Talk about easy money being handed to you. My God, unbelievable. Put credit spreads on SoFi are also a pretty damn good idea. GameStop put credit spreads, SoFi put credit spreads. Have you seen AI lately? Trying to push $16 again. Welcome back, AI, coming around. Rocket Lab 5354, back over 50 nicely, and being touted as a winner chicken dinner. So there you go. Welcome all to the show. Thank you for joining me from wherever you are. I really appreciate you all being here. You know, I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy trying to tell you what's going on. A lot of commentary coming in on my commentary today. I appreciate you all. Please keep it respectful. Thank you all. I haven't had time to read a single comment this morning. I'm ranting too much today. Microsoft down 11, Apple's up 129, Nvidia down 62 cents, Google down 19 cents, Tesla down 73, Amazon is up 430. Facebook, the old Meta, up 628 at 650 a share. Netflix still down 95.58 now. It's still backing off from its recent levels of 103, 104, now sitting at 95.50. But it's trading at 39 times earnings. And if they do not win the bid for Warner Brothers, whatever they're trying to get, they have to pay $5 billion. I'm not a fan of Netflix stock right now either. I would not be jumping all over that. I'm just a guy trying to figure out where we're at here. Thank you all for popping in and joining me this morning from wherever you are. Most interesting times. $21.99 now, $22 on GameStop. Bargain City, perfect time to write $25 cash secured puts, $20 cash secured puts, 22s, depending how far out you want to go. Go ahead and write cash secured puts on GameStop and take the money, because I think in the next 6 months to a year, GameStop isn't going to be anywhere around here. I'm waiting for a couple of shoes to drop. Shoes to drop. One, will Ryan Cohen buy another million shares for himself personally and shake the market? Will Roaring Kitty show up out of nowhere and all of a sudden the stock jumps $10 a share in a week? Is there going to be a hostile takeover of GameStop? Think about it. You're a hedge fund manager sitting on $10 billion, $5 billion, $3 billion. You can buy up 10% of this company by acquiring 50 million shares of GameStop. This is a joke. 100 million bucks, 110, 120 million. You got 5% of this company. It's only worth $10 billion on the street. 10% of this company is worth $1 billion. If you bought $1 billion worth of GameStop on the open market and had a 10% ownership, you'd be the single largest private owner of the stock, or as certainly one of the largest institutions. And if you're an activist investor, you want to get something going, you're going to buy 10 to 15% of this company, just like Ryan Cohen did. And then you're going to demand that Ryan Cohen hire activist promoters, stock promoters, to run this market, to get this thing going, because this stock is underperforming. I think it's a takeover target. I don't know why someone wouldn't want to take this over. Think about it. If you can take over control of this company with, say, $1.5 billion, you can kick out Ryan Cohen out of the board of directors. You can put your guys in, and now you control $9 billion in cash for what, $1 billion investment? Remember, if you buy $1 billion worth of GameStop, it's not like you can't get that billion back. The point is that you buy $1 billion worth of GameStop at 21, 22, 23, because you're going to get this thing to go to 50, which is more than double your money. That's the reason you're doing it. But at the same time, you're controlling now almost $10 billion in cash. You run this market to $40 a share. Guess what? The long-term debt turns into stock, and those warrants at 32 get exercised. You've now got over 11 billion in cash. This is a joke. This is an absolute opportunity for an outsider to come on in here and scoop up GameStop without saying a goddamn thing. That's what Ryan Cohen did in 2020. He started buying the stock when it was $4 a share, and he bought it all the way to 16. This guy paid 400% more for the very stock he started buying by the time he stopped buying it. I'm saying anyone out here with enough dough, and there's thousands of potential candidates that can buy this company up. $1 billion in today's market is jack squat. Pick up this stock and run it up until you get to 4.999%. You don't have to report anything to anyone. And then make a move to buy up blocks of stock to run you to 10%. Catch everyone off guard. The stock will be $35, $40 by the time you stop buying, and you're going to be the single largest shareholder. And now you put 4 people on the board of directors, and you own that place. You run that company the way you want. And the first order of business, brand new PR department to run this market, to run this stock, to tell the story about what's going on here, and push the company into investments that help promote the company to the world. I'm just a guy. These hedge fund guys, they could track me down. They could call me up and say, hey, listen, I just want to talk to you about this. You were seeing something on your show about how to do this. I want to talk to you about this. Can you be my advisor? I'm just a guy. Anyone can do this. This is so simple. I don't know how much easier do you want it? I'm just a guy. Anyway, there it is. 2183 here is where we're at on GameStop. Takeover target, no question about it. It's Ryan Cohen has bought more shares, but he's issued stock, so he only owns 8.5% of the company. He's not like the big shareholder that owns 40% of the votes. He doesn't own 40% of the votes. He sways voters to do what he wants, but he doesn't have them. Anyone can take him out. If you don't like the way Ryan Cohen is running this company, then go in there and buy up the stock yourself. Maybe you can get Roaring Kitty to join you. Roaring Kitty's got a whack of paper. Why don't you call Roaring Kitty and have a chat with him and say, hey, listen, if I buy 50 million shares and we combine it with what you have, we set up a hedge fund together, we would now have 20% of the company, 15% of the company, whatever that number is, 18% of the company. We can now run this thing the way we want to run. And this stock will go to $50, $60 a share. Would you be happy if your GameStop was trading at $50 to $60 a share in the next 6 months? Would you be somewhat richer in your portfolio if this stock were to triple in price with some activist investors getting involved in this thing? I'm just a guy asking a question. Anyway, there it is, kids. I'm just doing what I can with what I got. I don't have any more for you. That's all there is. That's all there is to life. We're up 92 on the Dow. Yippee. We're near all-time highs. Yippee. The all-time high, what is it? 48,400 on the Dow, and we're at 47.6. We're 800 points away from an all-time record high on the Dow Jones. Despite all the headwinds and all the nonsense going on out there, that's what this market is doing. There is cash out there that could go into GameStop like that. If only they knew. There's got to be some people out there who have private jets who are going to say to themselves, you know what? I'm going to call this guy Uncle Bruce, and I'm going to tell him that my private jet is landing in Calgary whenever he wants. And we'll pick him up with anti-gen and take you to a nice warm climate, and let's have a little chat. I'm hanging out in Hawaii. I'm hanging out in Fiji. I'm hanging out in Singapore. I'm hanging out in Australia. I'm hanging out in New Zealand. I'll pick you up in a private jet. Come down and see us for a week or so. Let's have some chats. How about somewhere in the Bahamas, in the Caribbean, where it's warm? Somewhere warm. I don't want to go to Switzerland where it's cold right now. Okay. Pick me up in a private jet, and let's have a couple of one-on-one sessions. Promise to take me home. And hey, I have ideas, but I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy. There's not much more I can do about it. Do the best I can with what I have. Anyway, thank you everybody for being around today. I appreciate you. Have you answered my poll question this morning? Have you noticed that? I put the poll question out there about where the market can be and where it can go and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, whatever. Noticing some really nasty comments coming through here. Isn't that sad? That's really pathetic. Let's see if we can get rid of that guy. Amazing how there are haters out there. It's just unbelievable. Anyway, the poll question. What are we asking here today? GameStop will pop up to $35 in 2026. 76% say yes out of 68 voters on one of my channels, the vertical channel. On the horizontal channel, we've got 71% saying yes, 240 votes. The stock will pop through $35 a share, or up to. There you go. Thank you, everybody. If any of you are offended by some of these comments, I do apologize, but I can't stop them necessarily. They are what they are. They're out there, and I do what I can. But in any event, it is what it is. Scary and pathetic, I guess, is what I'm saying all at the same time. How you doing, everybody? Welcome all to the program. Appreciate you all being here. Nice to see you all. Thank you for many of you are leaving kind commentary. I appreciate that. And like I say, we're following a company I think that has such unbelievable potential to really score some serious dough here, especially because they're moving into that collectible side of things, and they're getting into the buying and selling and trading in of collectibles and all that online and in the stores. I think it's brilliant. The margins are phenomenal. The demographic is perfect. GameStop demographic is absolutely perfect for collectibles. You couldn't have asked for a better connection here. Absolutely beautiful. Anyway, I'm just a guy doing the best I can with what we got. Thank you all for your kind words and your support of this YouTuber. Don't forget, Black Friday deal ends this Sunday night at midnight, your local time. And if you're going to take advantage of the class sales, which a number of you have, and I congratulate you and thank you at the same time, by all means, make your move when you can. Send me an email if you have any questions about how to do it. Those of you who are looking to buy these classes, you know what to do. Make a donation to the PayPal account, all below here in the details. If you can't find the details down below, just send me an email and I will look after you as best I can with a reply. Excuse me, with a reply. You can send me an email right here. That's my email right there, and hopefully that's popular. There it is, brucefrommert@hotmail.com. And if you have any questions about the classes and that type of thing, if you want to have a one-on-one session with me, you want to talk to me privately about classes you've taken and trading you're trying to do, option writing you've done now for the last few months, last year or more, just a review where you're at, by all means, send me an email and we'll see what we can get together. We'll figure out when it works. It's a 1-hour session that's recorded on camera like this, where we talk to each other, and I send you a rerun of the final version of our chat so that you can re-watch our chat anytime you want, in case you don't have to write down stuff while I talk. You can just talk to me, and then you can re-watch the interaction again and again and again, and away we go. Cost us $500 US. It's 1 hour. It usually lasts an hour and a half. Not a bad deal to help put you on the right path to help you make more money. Okay, that's what I want to hear from all of you, is how well you're doing. It's nothing personal. I just want you to get rich. We're $21.93 on GameStop again. We're going to be volatile here. We could be 21 to 25 here. We should be 28 to 30. My humble opinion, we should be over 30 a share right now on the performance of this corporation. Their numbers are looking really great. They come in with $1 a share net profit for the year, the way they're going, 30 times earnings, $30 a share. They're trading at $21.93, so they could be at 21 times PE multiple in the next 3 months. They're at 30 PE multiple right now. They could be 30 PE multiple in January, February, March, and that's a $30 stock. Based on earnings. Of course, if they bring out forecasts as to how they think they're going to do in 2026. And those say, we think we're going to make $1.50 a share profit in 2026. 30 times that, 45 a share on your GameStop. I'm just a guy in front of a computer with a personal opinion on what I think is possible here. But hey, I can only do so much with what I have. It's limited, kids. I'm limited in what I have. Thank you again, everyone, for joining in. Appreciate you all. Okay, there it is. That's the story today. I really have nothing much more to comment on at this point. Again, thank you all for being with me today, having been with me now for 5+ years. We'll keep you posted on where we're at, and we'll go from there. Again, anyone who wants these classes, you let me know, and we'll get you set up with links to your lessons, and you're on your way. Okay, everybody, please have yourselves a wonderful day out there. Get richer, and let's stay in touch. Okay, everybody, thank you again so much. All of you out there who have been saying hi. Very much appreciated. All right, we'll talk to you later, everybody. This is Uncle Bruce saying bye.